Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to a book titled Ashley Bryan's Beautiful Blackbird. If this book piques your interest, then there will be a link in the description box below. Also, consider checking out my first YouTube channel, See My Strength. It's the female version to this YouTube channel. Help me get this video to 500 likes. And as always, don't forget to like, share, watch more videos, and subscribe to the channel.
Audio Bookshelf presents Ashley Bryan's Beautiful Blackbird and other folktales performed by the author.
This is Ashley Bryan. I've always loved folktales. Folktales are the bridges from culture to culture. In my writing of the African folktales, I try to approach the spirit of the oral tradition so that even in silent reading, you will hear the voice of a storyteller. Beautiful Blackbird. A long, long time ago, the birds of Africa were all colors of the rainbow. Clean, clear colors from head to tail. Oh, so pretty, pretty, pretty. Back then, though, birds had no marks of black on their feathers. From the tops of their heads to the tips of their tails, no markings of black. Whether large or small, Blackbird was the only bird who had it all. One day, Ringdove called the birds to a festival in the forest. He asked them all to meet by the lake where he lived. Birds flew in from all over with a flip-flop flapping of their wings and a whirring, stirring of the air. They flew down to the lake from every way. The birds' colors were mirrored in the waters. They were red, green, yellow, purple, orange, and blue, pink, then black. Blackbird, Blackbird too. Ringdove called, coo-coo-roo, coo-ca-roo. I've a question to ask of you. Who of all is the most beautiful? The colored birds never even raised a wing. They raised their beaks and began to sing. Blackbird stands out best of all. Blackbird is the most beautiful. His feathers gleam all colors in the sun. Blackbird is the most beautiful one. The birds circled Blackbird in a beak and wing dance, singing, a beak to beak, a peck, peck, peck. Spread your wings, stretch your neck. Black is beautiful, Black is beautiful, They broke out of the circle for the show claws slide. Tip-tap-toe to the left, spin around. Toe-tap, tip to the right, stroke the ground. Wings a flip-flapping as you glide forward and backward in a show claws slide. When the birds were into their steps, Ringdove took Blackbird aside. Oh, Blackbird, Blackbird, coo-coo-roo, coo-ca-roo. Would you color me black so that I'll be black like you? My neck is plain, and that's a shame, 'cause ringdove is my given name. Blackbird said, color on the outside is not what's on the inside. You don't act like me. You don't eat like me. You don't get down in the groove and move your feet like me. But come tomorrow to the sun-up dance. I'll brew some blackening in my medicine gourd. Then I'll swing a ring around your neck to go with your name. The next day the birds gathered. Blackbird stirred the blackening brew in his medicine gourd. He stirred it round and round. Then he dipped his feather brush into the pot. With his free wing he spun Ringdove around, holding his brush to Ringdove's neck. Ringdove sang coo-coo-roo, coo-ca-roo. See what a swinging ring of black can do. Blackbird bowed to the crowd as a chirping arose. A ringdove's black is beautiful, beak to beak, peck, peck, peck. He's just like Blackbird around the neck. Oh, Blackbird, can we have some of that blackening too? We all need what your black can do. You're such an artist with your feather brush. A touch of your black will be good for us. Blackbird said, tomorrow I'll mix the rest of my black roots in a larger medicine gourd. I'll give what I can give until it all gives out. The birds danced the sundown dance, then they went to nest. All through the night the birds dreamed of black. Black markings on the head, tail, wing, front or back. Oh, black is beautiful. Black, black, black. Birds rose at sunup and took to their wings, oh, way up high. Their colors filled the sky. With a flip-flop flapping of their wings, a stirring, whirring of the air, they flew down to the lake from every way. Ringdove carried Blackbird's large gourd and set it down. Blackbird stirred with a stick in his wing and said, we'll see the difference a touch of black can make. Just remember, whatever I do, I'll be me, and you'll be you. Blackbird tipped his feather brush into the pot and tapped out dots. Some were large, some were small, close together or far apart. It was a challenge to Blackbird's art. With strokes long and short, he painted stripes. Blackbird swept his brush strokes steady. He drew lines only when his brush was ready and full with the black brew. The paint in the gourd was getting low. Blackbird still had more to go before he had decorated the birds with black, one and all. Save some for us, cried the small birds. We've been in line, and we were on time. We won't step back till we get a touch of black, too. Uh-huh! Uh-huh! Ringdove tipped the gourd. Blackbird slipped his brush way in. He brushed the rest of the birds with marks and arcs. He black-capped the last small bird of the flock. Then Blackbird sang, I've painted plenty, plenty, plenty. The gourd's now empty, empty, empty. The birds surrounded Blackbird and sang. Our colors sport a brand new look. A touch of black was all it took. Oh, beautiful black, black is beautiful, Why frog and snake never play together. Mama Frog had a son. Mama Snake also had a son. One morning, both children went out to play. Mama Snake called after her child. Watch out for big things with sharp claws and teeth that gnaw. Don't lose your way in the bush, baby, and be back to the burrow before dark. Claws and gnaws, sang Snake as he went looping through the grass. Beware of the claws and gnaws. Mama Frog called after her son. Watch out for things that peck or bite. Don't go into the bush alone, dear. Don't fight, and get home before night. Peck or bite, sang Frog as he went hopping from stone to stone. Beware of the peck or bite. Snake was singing his claws and gnaws song, and Frog was singing of peck or bites when they met along the way. They had never met before. Who are you? Asked Frog. Are you a peck or bite? And he prepared to spring out of reach. Oh, no, I'm Snake, called by my mama Snake's son. I'm slick, lithe, and slithery. Who are you? Are you a claws and gnaws? And he got ready to move just in case. No, I'm Frog, called by my mama Frogchild. I'm hip, quick, and hoppy. They stood and stared at each other. Then they said together, You don't look anything like me. Their eyes brightened. They did not look alike, that's true, but some of their customs were alike. Both knew what to do when two say the same thing at the same time. They clasped each other, closed their eyes, and sang. You wish a wish, I'll wish a wish too. May your wish and my wish both come true. Each made a wish, then let go. Just then a fly flew by right past Frog's eyes. Flip! Out went his tongue as he flicked in the fly. A bug whizzed past Snake's nose. Flash! Snake flicked out his tongue and caught the bug. They looked in admiration at each other and smiled. The two new friends now knew something of what each other could do. They felt at ease with each other like old friends. Let's play, said Frog. Hey, said Snake, that was my wish. Let's play in the bush. The bush, in the bush, cried Frog. That was my wish. If you go with me, it's all right, 'cause Mama said I shouldn't go alone. Frog and Snake raced to the bush and started playing games. Watch this, said Frog. He crouched down and counted. 1 a fly, 2 a fly, 3 a fly, 4. He popped way up into the air, somersaulted, and came down. Whop! Can you do that, Snake? Snake bounded for a nearby mound to try the frog hop. He got to the top of the slope, stood on the tip of his tail, and tossed himself into the air. Down he came, flop, a tangle of coils. He laughed and tried again. Sometimes Snake and Frog jumped together and bumped in midair. No matter how hard they hit, it didn't hurt. They had fun. Then Snake said, Watch this. He stretched out at the top of the mound and counted. 1 a bug, 2 a bug, 3 a bug, 4. Then swoosh, he slithered down the slope on his stomach. Try that, Frog. It's called the snake slither. Frog lay on his stomach and slipped down the hill. His arms and legs flailed about as he slithered. He turned over at the bottom of the slope, blump, and rolled up in a lump. Frog and Snake slithered down together, entangling as they went. Their calls and laughter could be heard all over the bush. One game led to another. They were having such a good time that the day passed swiftly. By late afternoon, there were not two better friends in all the bush. The sun was going down when Snake remembered his promise to his mother. "I promised to be home before dark," he said. "Me too," said Frog. "Goodbye." They hugged. Snake was so happy that he'd found a real friend that he forgot himself and squeezed Frog very tightly. It felt good, very, very good. "Ow, easy," said Frog. "Not too tight." "Oh, sorry," said Snake, loosening his hug hold. "My, but you sure feel good. Good enough to eat." At that they burst out laughing and hugged again, lightly this time. "I like you," said Frog. "Bye, Snake." "Bye, Frog. You're my best friend." "Let's play again tomorrow," they said together. Aha! They clasped and sang once again. "You wish a wish, I'll wish a wish too. May your wish and my wish both come true." Off they went, Snake hopping and Frog slithering all the way home. When Frog reached home, he knocked his knock, and Mama Frog unlocked the rock door. She was startled to see her child come slithering in across the floor. "Now what is this, eh?" she said. "Look at you, all covered with grass and dirt." "It doesn't hurt," said Frog. "I had fun." "Fun? Now what is this, eh? I can tell you haven't been playing in ponds or bogs with the good frogs. Where have you been all day? You look as if you've just come out of the bush." "But I didn't go alone, Ma. I went with a good boy. He's my best friend." "Best friend? Now what is this, eh?" said Mama Frog. "What good boy could that be, playing in the bush?" "Look at this trick he taught me, Ma," said Frog Child. He flopped on his stomach and wriggled across the floor, bungling up Mama Frog's neatly stitched lily pad rug. "That's no trick for a frog! Get up from there, child!" cried Mama Frog. "Now what is this, eh? Look how you've balled up my rug! Just you tell me, who was this playmate?" "His name is Snake Son, Mama." "Snake Son? Did you say Snake Son?" "Yes. What's the matter, Mama?" Mama Frog trembled and turned a pale green. She sat down to keep from fainting. When she had recovered herself, she said, "Listen, Frog Child, listen carefully to what I have to say." She pulled her son close. "Snake comes from the snake family. They are bad people. Keep away from them. You hear me, child?" "Bad people?" asked Frog. "Bad, too bad," said Mama Frog. "Snakes are sneaks. They hide poison in their tongues, and they crush you in their coils." Frog Child gulped. "You be sure to hop out of Snake's reach if ever you meet again. And stop this slithering foolishness. Slithering's not for frogs." Mamma Frog set the table, muttering to herself, "Playing with snake. Now what is this, eh?" She rolled a steaming ball of gleaming cornmeal onto Frogchild's plate. "Sit down and eat your fungi, child," said Mamma Frog. "And remember, I'm not fattening frogs for snakes, eh?" Snake, too, reached home. He rustled the braided twig hatch cover to his home. His mother knew his rustle and undid the vine latch. Snake toppled in. "I'm hungry, Ma," he said, hopping all about. Do good bless you. What a sight you are," said Mama Snake. "Just look at you and listen to your panting and wheezing. Where have you been all day?" "In the bush, Mama, with my new friend. We played games. See what he taught me." Snakeson jumped up on top of the table and leaped into the air. He came down on a stool, knocking it over and entangling himself in its legs. Do good bless you. What a dangerous game that is," said Mama Snake. "Keep it up and see if you don't break every bone in your back. What new friend taught you that?" She bent over and untangled her son from the stool. "My frog friend taught me that. His name's Frogchild. It's the frog hop, Mama. Try it. It's fun." "Frogchild!" Mama Snake's jaws hung open, showing her fangs. "Did you say frog, child?" "Yes," said Snakeson. "He's my best friend." "You mean you played all day with a frog, and you come home hungry?" "He was hungry too, Mama, after playing the snake slither game that I taught him." Well, do good bless you. Come, curl up here, son, and listen carefully to what I have to tell you." Snakeson curled up on the stool. "Don't you know, son, that it is the custom of our house to eat frogs? Frogs are delicious people." Snakeson's small eyes widened. "Ah, for true," said Mama Snake. "Eating frogs is the custom of our house, a tradition in our family. Hopping isn't, so cut it out. You hear me?" "Oh, Mama," cried Snakeson, "I can't eat frogs. Frog's a friend." "Frog a friend? Do good bless you," said Mama Snake. "That's not natural. No, you listen to me, baby. The next time you play with frog, jump, roll, and romp all you like. But when you get hungry, his game is up. Catch him and eat him." The next morning, Snakeson was up early. He pushed off his dry leaf cover and stretched himself. He remembered his mother's words and the delicious feel of his frog friend when they had hugged. He was ready to go. Mama Snake fixed her son a light breakfast of spiced insects and goldfinch eggs. Snakeson was soon on his way. "Now, don't you forget my instructions about frogs. Do good bless you," Mama Snake called out after him. "And don't let me have to tell you again to watch out for big things with sharp claws and teeth that gnaw." "Claws and gnaw," sang Snakeson. "Claws and gnaw." He reached the bush and waited for his friend. He looked forward to fun with Frog, and he looked forward to finishing the fun with a feast of his fine frog friend. He lolled about in the sun, laughing and singing, "You wish a wish, I'll wish a wish too. Can your wish and my wish both come true?" The sun rose higher and higher, but Frog did not come. "What's taking Frog Child so long?" said Snake's son. "Perhaps too much slithering has given him the belly ache. I'll go and look for him." Snake found Frog's rock home by the pond. He rolled up a stone in his tail and knocked on the rock door. "Anybody home?" "Just me," answered Frog Child. "May I come in?" "Ah, it's you, Snake Son. Sorry, my mama's out, and she said not to open the door to anyone." "Come on out then, and let's play," said Snake Son. "I waited all morning for you in the bush." "I can't," said Frog. "Not now, anyway." "Oh, that's too bad," said Snake. "My mother taught me a new game. I'd love to teach it to you." "I'll bet you would," said Frog. "You don't know what you're missing," said Snake. "But I do know what you're missing," said Frog, and he burst out laughing. "Aha," said Snake. "I see that your mother has given you instructions." "My mother has given me instructions too." Snake sighed. There was nothing more to say or do, so he slithered away. Frog and Snake never forgot that day when they played together as friends. Neither ever again had that much fun with anybody. Today you will see them, quiet and alone in the sun, still as stone. They are deep in thought, remembering that day of games in the bush, and both of them wonder, what if we had just kept on playing together and no one had ever said anything? But from that day to this, Frog and Snake have never played together again. You wish a wish, I'll wish a wish too. May your wish and my wish both come true. Tortoise, Hare, and the Sweet Potatoes. Listen, brothers and sisters, to this story of how Tortoise outwitted Hare. Hare was a born trickster. He was always dreaming up new riddles and tricks to try on others. He'd spring an impossible riddle, wait a little, then rattle off the answer. Riddles and tricks, Hare never tired of either. Tortoise, on the other hand, was much too busy keeping her little pond clean to worry about tricking anyone. Animals came from field and forest, far and near, to drink in the pond where she lived. Tortoise believed in the proverb, "Give the passing traveler water, and you will drink news yourself." So, although she rarely left her pool, her visitors kept her well informed. She knew more than most, and was seldom fooled. It happened one season, then, that the news Tortoise heard again and again was disgracefully bad. Someone was stealing food from all the fields around. Now, most creatures were willing to give when another was hungry, but stealing was taboo. Everyone asked, who would do what's taboo? And no one knew. But Tortoise had a few well-founded ideas. One day, here came by Tortoise's pond. He drank his fill, then was ready for mischief. Aha! Now to muddy the pond and have a little fun, he thought. He had never cared for the proverb, do not fill up the well after having drunk. Where would you drink tomorrow? Tortoise was on her guard, however, and all Hare could do was sit beside her and ask riddles. Tortoise answered every one. I know one you can't answer, said Hare. Tell me the thing that you can beat without leaving a scar. I live by it, and I drink it, said Tortoise. Water! So Hare gave up trying to catch Tortoise with riddles, but he was not through. After a while he said, Now, old Tortoise, let's go and till a field together. Me till the land? I can just manage to scratch out my little garden patch. How could I hoe a whole field with my short legs? Short legs? Your legs are beautiful, just the right length for hoeing. Do say, but how could I hold a hoe? No problem at all. I'll tie you to it. I'd love to do that for you. There was truth in that statement, Tortoise decided. Hare knew how to trick people all right, but she wasn't taken in. She said aloud, I don't think I'll try. Thanks. So they sat in silence, and after a while Hare said, I'm hungry, sis, aren't you? A little, but I don't have a leaf left in my garden. Well, poor thing, let me help you. I came upon a wide field of good things on my way here. Come on, let's help ourselves to some of Wild Boar's sweet potatoes. Ooh, ooh, what are you saying? You know better than that, Mr. Hare. No pilfering. So they sat on in silence, Hare not willing to give up. And after a while, Tortoise became really hungry. Besides, she had a few worthwhile ideas. Where did you say that field of sweet potatoes was? She asked. It's not far, just past the bush. Well now, said Tortoise, seeming to overcome her scruples, I guess Wild Boar won't miss a few. Off they went together, and when they came to Wild Boar's field, it was no job at all to root out the sweet potatoes. Soon Hare's sack was filled. Hare, with a great show of strength, steadied the bag on Tortoise's back, and they headed for the bush to cook the potatoes. When they found a good, quiet spot, they gathered dry grass and made a crackling fire in which the sweet potatoes were soon roasted. Yum, said Tortoise as she bit into one. Wait a minute, said Hare. Did you hear that? Yum, said Tortoise, her mouth full of sweet potato. Stop munching and mumbling, said Hare. What if we're caught? Yum, said Tortoise, reaching for another sweet potato. Wow, wow, said Hare. Do you want to be beaten and bitten by wild boar? Put down that potato. We've got to scout around first and make sure that boar's not after us. Hare forced Tortoise to stop eating, and they went off in opposite directions to scout the field. Tortoise, who had a good notion of what was afoot and was ready, waddled a few reluctant steps. Hare bounded out of sight. As soon as he was gone, Tortoise turned back, took another sweet potato, and crawled into the empty sack. Yum, she said. She was about to crawl out for another when suddenly a rain of roasted sweet potatoes fell around her. Hare was back, very quietly, very quickly. Good, said Tortoise, biting into another sweet potato. Saves me the trouble. Old Trickster Hare filled his sack in a hurry. Mistress Tortoise, he shouted then, get going, take off, run for your life. Wild Boar and his big fat wife are coming. He threw the bag over his back. Save yourself, fly, he cried. But inside he thought, best trick in ages. Now to put some miles between me and Slow Poke. He took off running and laughing as hard as he could. Tortoise made herself comfortable in the sack. She ate one sweet potato after another. Too bad Hare is missing the feast, she thought. But maybe he prefers running to eating. Hare ran as fast and as far as he could. By the time he stopped to rest, Tortoise had eaten all of the finest and fattest sweet potatoes. In fact, there was only one very small sweet potato left. "Aha! Good!" said Hare as he put his hand into the sack. "Too bad Tortoise is miles away." "Sweet potatoes," Hare sang. "Sweet, sweet potatoes." Tortoise put the last sweet potato into Hare's outstretched hand. When Hare saw the size of it, he cried, "Ah! What a miserable one this is! I didn't run my head off for that!" And he flung it into the bushes. Hare put his hand back into the sack. This time he felt a big one, a nice, firm, juicy one. "Oh-ho!" he chortled. "Here's a beauty! What a prize!" Imagine his surprise when he saw what he had in his hand. "Mistress Tortoise!" he cried as he dropped it to the ground. Hare shook out the sack. Tears of unbelief welled up in his eyes when he saw it was empty. "My potatoes! The sweet ones I rooted up! Oh, no! Oh, no! You didn't eat mine, too! Sister Tortoise, how could you be so unfair?" But Mistress Tortoise didn't stand around for the lecture. She took to her toes and scuttled away to a pond as fast as she could go. Hungry Hare lay on the ground and screeched, "Whoa! Whoa! That wily Mistress Tortoise ate all my sweet potatoes! Wah! Wah! How awful of her! When I think that I carried her all the while, I could cry." And that's just what he did. Hen and Frog. "I've told one tale. Here's another. Call your sister. Call your brother. Frog and hen once met. They walked along together. Hen strut. 2 steps, a peck at a bug. Frog a bop. 3 hops, flicked his tongue at a fly. Strut. 2 steps, a peck at a bug. A bop. 3 hops, flick at a fly. Hen flapped her wings and spun around. Frog slapped his legs and tapped the ground. All in together now, clucked hen. How do you like the weather now? Croaked frog. Oh, click, clack, clucked hen. See that dark cloud? That's a sign. I know it. A storm's coming. Strut. 2 steps, peck at a bug. It's still a far way off, said frog. Bop. 3 hops, flick at a fly. Good, said hen. Then there's time. Frog, let's make a hut before the storm hits. A hut? Not me, said frog. Here's a neat hole. I'm going to get into that. I won't help you make a hut. Suit yourself, said hen. If you won't help me, then I'll make the hut myself. Hen set to work, and frog jumped into the hole. While hen worked, frog sang. Quee, quo, qua, qua, quo, quee. A hole in the ground is a hut to me. Hen was a skillful hut builder. She flipped and she flapped, pieced, pecked, and pulled every branch and straw into place. She put in 2 windows, a door, and thatched the roof, leaving a space in the middle for the smoke of the fireplace. Click, clack, cluck, she sang. Click, clack, cluck, cluck, clee. The dark cloud came closer. Quick, frog, said hen. There's still time. Help me make a bed for the hut. Frog sang. Quee, quo, qua, qua, quo, quee. The ground in the hole is a bed to me. Well, said hen, if you won't help me, then I'll make the bed myself. So hen built the bed all by herself. She lay down to test it. Oh, click, clack, cluck, she sang. Click, clack, cluck, cluck, clee. The dark cloud came even closer. Frog, said hen, there's still a little time left before the storm hits. Help me gather corn. Frog sang. Quee, quo, qua, qua, quo, quee. The bugs in the hole are food to me. Said hen. If you won't help me, then I'll gather the corn myself. So hen gathered the corn all by herself. She piled it by the fireplace and then rolled some pumpkins onto the thatch roof. She ran into a hut and latched the door just as the storm broke. Blam! Pam! Palam! Blam! Bam! Palam! The thunder rolled, the earth shook, tree branches tossed, and frog was jostled in his hole. Quaw, quee, he sang, quee, quaw. The rain came down. It really poured. Hen went to the window and looked out. Frog was standing up in his hole, swaying and singing a riddle song. Her children dance madly, Mama never dances. Riddle me this, riddle me that, riddle me round the answers. Mama is a tree trunk, her children are the branches. Fool, said hen, this is no time for riddles. Frog stamped as he sang. Suddenly, splish, splash. What? Water rose in the hole. Eh? Cried Frog. What's happening? Slish, slosh, the water rose higher and higher, and Frog was flooded out of his home. He waved to Hen as he floated by her hut and sang, "All in together now. How do you like the weather now?" "Sing it," said Hen, "but you'll soon croon another tune." It wasn't long before the steady force of the rain stung Frog's tender skin, and he began to wail. "Quo, qua, qui, qua, qui, quo. The stinging rain is riddling me. Where shall I go?" Frog knew where he planned to go. He bounded for shelter. Hop, 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 right up to Hen's hut. "Hen, Hen," he cried as he rapped on her door, "may I come into your hut?" "No," said Hen. When I asked you to help me make a hut, you refused." "If you don't let me come in," said Frog, "I'll call Cat, the cat that eats little chickens." "Go back to your hole," said Hen. "Cat, Cat," yelled Frog, "come and eat Hen." "Shh," said Hen. She opened the door. "Hush your mouth! Shame on you, scamp! Come on in." Frog hopped in and sat by the door. The rain beat down, but Hen's hut was tight, and the rain couldn't get in. Frog leaned against the door, drumming his numb toes and rubbing his stinging skin. Hen sat by the fire. "Hen," said Frog, "may I warm myself by the fire?" "No," said Hen. You didn't help me make the hut. Hands on your hips. You didn't help me gather wood. Pursed your lips." "If you don't let me sit by the fire," said Frog, "I'll call Cat, the cat that eats little chickens." "That's not fair, Frog. You wouldn't dare." Frog opened the door and cried, "Cat, Cat, here's Hen Chick. Come and eat her quick, come quick." Hen slammed and bolted the door. "Scamp," she said, "you scamp. Go ahead then, sit by the fire." Frog hopped beside Hen and warmed himself by the fire. He said. "Fire sure feels good." Frog spread his tingling toes to the heat and stroked his skin. Hen busied herself roasting corn. Then she began to eat. "Hen," said Frog, "may I have some corn?" "No," said Hen. You didn't help me make the hut. Hands on your hips. You didn't help me gather wood. Pursed your lips. You didn't help me pick the corn. Rolled your eyes." "So what?" said Frog. "If you don't give me some corn to eat, then I'll call Cat, the cat that eats little chickens." "And I'll call your bluff," said Hen. Frog opened the window and called, "Cat, Cat, here's Hen Chick. Come and eat her. Quick, come quick." Hen slammed and latched the window. "Scamp!" she cried. "Greedy scamp! Here, help yourself." Frog helped himself until all the corn was eaten. Then he rubbed his stomach, stretched himself, and leaned back on his elbow. The food and the fire made Frog drowsy. He yawned. "Hen," said Frog, "may I lie on your bed?" "No," said Hen. You didn't help me make the hut. Hands on your hips. You didn't help me gather wood. Pursed your lips. You didn't help me pick the corn, rolled your eyes. You didn't help me make the bed, and it ain't your size. If you don't let me lie on your bed, said Frog, I'll call Cat, the cat that eats little chickens. Shh, shh, said Hen. Frog jumped up and down and bawled, Cat, cat, here's Hen Chick. Come and eat her. Quick, come, quick. Quiet, scamp, said Hen. Lazy scamp. Go ahead, then. Lie on my bed. Frog lay on Hen's bed and fell fast asleep. He was still snoring loudly when the rain stopped. Hen stepped outdoors to see if the pumpkins were still on the roof. She kept an eye cocked for Cat. Well, all right, she said, just where I left them. She went in and slammed the door. Belay! Frog sprang awake. The noise frightened him, and he dived under the bed. Come on out, Frog, said Hen. The storm's over. Frog crawled out. I'm hungry, he said. Climb onto the roof and fetch us some pumpkins, said Hen. I'll cook and we'll eat. Said Frog. Pumpkin. I love pumpkin. But he still just sat on the edge of the bed. Hen looked out of the window. She saw a small, dark cloud in the distance. She knew that sign well. Hop to it, Frog, she said. You can rest while I'm cooking a pumpkin. Frog went outside and climbed up onto the roof. He dislodged a pumpkin from the thatch and rolled it down. Hen stood by the window and watched the dark cloud approach. It came faster and faster and grew bigger and bigger, and it was Hawk. Hawk spied Frog rolling the pumpkins off the roof. Frog was too busy to notice anything, not even Hawk's shadow, as Hawk hovered over the thatch. Hawk closed his wings and fell swiftly, silently. Suddenly, flump! Hawk snatched Frog in his claws and took off. Help! Help! Cried Frog. Hen, help me! Help! I'm being carried off. Said Hen. Why don't you call Cat? You know, the cat that eats little chickens, eh? Click, clack, cluck, cluck, clee! Hen watched the scene safely from her window. Hawk soared upwards. Good, said Hen. That's it. Take the little so-and-so away. I've had more than enough of him, little tough buttocks. Hawk flew higher and higher. If Frog did call Cat, Cat did not come. So that was that. Hawk took Frog away, and Hen could relax again. She cooked the pumpkin and sat down to eat. She was so happy that she ate 18 plates of pumpkin without a stop. Then she lay back on her little bed and sang, click, clack, cluck, click, clack, clee. I ate pumpkin. Pumpkin didn't eat me. Frog and his two wives. Listen, let me tell the story of Frog Kumbuto, who married two wives. Quaw, quaw, he sang for one wife. Quaw, quaw, he sang for the other. He sprang high into the air. Whish! Twirling both legs, he whirled himself about and came down. Whump! He jumped again into the skies. Whee! It was a wonder to have two wives. Frog Kumbuto built each wife a good house of her own on his land. The first wife chose the sycamore grove on the east of his land. There he built her house. Bam! The second wife chose the palm grove on the west of Frog's land. There he built her house. Boom! The middle ground was where Frog liked to be. Berry bushes grew there with berries that Frog liked to lick, nibble, and bite for breakfast. And there was as well a tall nut tree for noonday shade and nuts. And nearby there lay a small rush marsh for an evening splash and a bath. It was in the middle that Frog built his house. Bosh! Well, the first wife cooked one meal for Frog each day, and the second wife cooked the other meal. The East housewife cooked for Frog as the sun rose in the east. The West housewife cooked for Frog as the sun set in the west. It was a fine plan. Frog swelled with pride when he saw how well it worked. The sun shone day after day, and day after day, for many months, Frog ate at morning in the east, and at evening in the west. But then the rainy season began. Frog Kumbuto loved the rain. He sauntered about in delight. But by the 13th day of the rainy spell, Frog's two wives had become confused about the time of day. So it happened that one gray day, without knowing whether they were coming or going, the wives mixed up the mealtime plan. Well, both began to cook for Frog at the same time. Each wife fanned her fire and stirred her pot. Frog Kumbuto, not thinking about it, lay on his rush mat and smelled the delicious odor of juicy mush from the east and the aroma of lush, spicy mush from the west. Ah! In time, the mush was cooked. Both wives looked up to see if Frog was coming, but Frog had not moved. What? The first wife called her little son and said, "Hop now and fetch your father." The second wife said to her small daughter, "Rush now and fetch your father." Both children left quickly to fetch Father Frog, skipping and jumping and hopping from east and from west. They arrived at the same spot at the same time. Thump! They fell down on the rush mat beside Frog Kumbuto. Regaining their feet and their breath, each child pulled one of Frog's arms as they sang out together, "Father, come with me! Come with me! It's time to eat!" Now Frog was in a fix. He was pulled to the east. He was pulled to the west. Whoa! He freed his arms and beat his breast. "Oh, no!" He groaned as he spun around. He clutched his stomach. He pounded the ground. Both wives are calling, "Come, come, come!" They are two, and I am one. If I go east to eat first, the west wife will pester me. "Oh," she'll say, "so east wife is your chief wife, eh?" If I decide to feast with the west wife first, then the east wife will cry, "Oh, Kumbuto, from the start, I thought the west wife was your best beloved." Frog sat down and wailed. He was so upset that he garbled his words. His cracked bass voice called out, "Rye bam in bobble, ah tam tin tobble," till finally he croaked it right. "I am in trouble!" Now, friends, the story is as I have told it. plucky frog Kumbuto married 2 wives. All went well until the day that both called him to mush at once. To this day, he does not know what to do. He sits in the marsh and cries, "Quaw, quaw, quaw, quaw." It sounds funny, I know. Some people joke and say, "Listen, frog is croaking." But no, frog is speaking. He is saying, "I am in trouble." Pity poor frog. How animals got their tails. If you're talking about the beginning of things, you've got to go back, way, way back. Back to the time when the animals had no tails. That's right. In the beginning, Raluvimba, god of the Bavenda, created the animals without tails. He never even gave tails a thought. Not in the beginning. When Raluvimba came down from the heavens, he often sat in his favorite place on earth, high on Mount Chawadinda. He'd relax there and admire the world that he had made, the mountains, rivers, and trees, the sun, moon, and stars. He'd say to himself, for in the beginning there was no one to to. That sure looks good. One day on Mount Chawadinda, Raluvimba lay down in cave Luvimbi and fell asleep. He dreamed a dream of animals that wandered the earth. And when he awoke, he set to work. One by one, Raluvimba made the animals, elephant and mouse, rabbit and rhinoceros, monkey and ox, lion and fox, the large and the small. He made them all. Raluvimba worked hard to get each one right. Lion's first mane tripped him up, had to be shortened. Goat's first coat was too tight a fit, had to be loosened. It took 2 tusks to complete elephant, and it took a tusk or 2 to do rhinoceros's snout. Mouse was the last and the smallest of the creatures that Raluvimba made. He said, holding Mouse in the palm of his hand. "How's that for small?" They all chanted back, "Small and beautiful." But, big or small, the animals had no color at all. So Raluvimba mixed colors from the dye of plants. He took some leftover bristles from hog and made a brush. Then he painted all the animals. Some he painted in plain colors, others he daubed with spots, and on some he painted stripes. "Now you're complete," he said. You sure look good." In those days, no people were around. Raluvimba hadn't yet thought of making man, so the animals had no one to fear. They roamed everywhere freely and fed on plants, shrubs, and greens. They had good appetites, and they had good manners. They never even thought of eating each other. Not in those days. They were vegetarians. The lion lay down with the lamb, and they all lived together peacefully. Everywhere that Raluvimba walked on earth, there were animals to greet him. He was never without company on earth, and he liked that. But his trips through water and air were lonely. nobody in the water, nobody in the air. Ralovimba slept again in Cave Luvimbi, and this time he dreamed of creatures for the water, creatures for the air. He awoke and fleshed fish with scales to flash through the seas. He feathered birds for flight and tuned their voices to sing sweet songs. Aha! Cheered the animals. That's some creating. It sure looks good. Now Ralovimba had friends everywhere. Things couldn't have been better on earth, in the air, or in the sea. When he swam through the depths of the sea, the fish said lo as they saw him go. When he soared way up in the sky, the birds sang high as he flew by. When he walked on earth, the animals said, pleasant day, as he passed their way. And they wiggled their ears, for as you remember, in those days, the animals had no tails to waggle. One day, Ralovimba played with the animals on Mount Chawadinda. They liked seeing him make things, so they circled him and chanted, "Oh, Creator, create! Make something new, smaller than mouse, and alive, too!" "Give it fine fur," said Fox. "Mark it with stripes," said Zebra. "Don't forget long ears," said Rabbit. "It will need long ears to wiggle." Ralovimba laughed. He closed his eyes and rubbed his forehead. An idea flickered. His fingers spun swiftly in space. Then he cupped his hands and blew into them. When he opened them, there stood Spider, alive and spinning. "Oh, yeah, now that is small," said Rabbit. "Smaller than mouse. No long ears, but he sure got a lot of legs." The animals crowded around and counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, more than ours. 5, 6, more than birds. 7, 8, more than fish. Oh, 8 legs, 8, and ain't none of them straight. Spider spun a strand from Ralovimba's fingers and dropped all the way down to the ground. Pim! Unhurt. "Do it!" said the animals. "Aha!" said Spider, and he twirled back up the strand into Ralovimba's hand. "If you ever need a message delivered to the master, call on me," said Spider. "I've got connections." Spider's tie to Ralovimba made him feel as important as Rabbit felt about his long ears. Ralovimba was pleased that Spider was accepted by the animals as one of them. He decided to create more tiny creatures. This time, Ralovimba made Fly and his mate, and they multiplied rapidly, and with insects came trouble. At first, flies fed on plant juice and do as Spider did. But between meals, they'd sit uninvited on the animals. Now, Spider never did that. And even though Fly was light, the animals didn't like being sat on. "Don't sit on me," said Rabbit. "Go live on a tree," said Zebra. "Take your big feet out of my mouth," said Ox. So it went, day after day. One day, when Fly was living high on the hog, he got fed up with all the complaints and took a bite out of Hog's hide. To his surprise, he liked the taste. He bit again to make sure, then flew about tasting a few more hides. Not bad," said Fly. "Tastier, too, than plant juice or dew." Fly told a friend, if you want a meal with body to it. And word got around. Soon flies were tasting every animal in sight and sharing their best ideas for beast feasts. Try this, said Fly. Taste lion first, then take a bite of deer, and finish with a nip of rabbit. Delicious! The animals howled when bitten. They shook when tickled. They flinched when pinched. Suddenly, one would leap up into the air, another would roll on the ground, another rub vigorously against a tree. Everyone knew why. The fault was Fly. Finally, the animals could stand it no longer. They called for Spider and asked if he would take a message to Ralovimba. What's the message? Asked Spider. Flies are pests. Tell Ralovimba that flies are not fit friends for animals. They're flesh biters and blood suckers. Tell him to take them back. Spider didn't waste time. He tested a few strands and found one that led into the heavens. Aha, so it's you, Spider, said Ralovimba. I thought I felt a tiny tug at my toe. Lo, said Spider. He didn't waste time in greetings. I've a message for you from the animals. They say flies are pests. They bite and they chew us. Yes, that's what they do, and we don't want them around. What? Said Ralovimba. I can't take back what I've given. After all, that's life. Don't flies chew leaves for juice and suck dew as you do? Oh, no, no, said Spider. Flies bite flesh and suck blood. That's the message. They're not fit friends for us. You've got to do something to help and fast. I play free the fly with them when they get caught in my web, so I'm fine. But my friends are frantic. Ralovimba thought, I can't believe that flies are a flaw in my creation. But there it was, almost in the beginning. A small mistake. A tiny one, true, but a bad sign just the same. And man hadn't even been created yet. Listen, Spider, said Ralovimba. Instead of playing free the fly, suppose you ate the flies that stuck to your web. Ooh, groaned Spider. The very idea made him sick. He was, after all, a vegetarian, and had never even thought of eating fly meat. Stop groaning, Spider, said Ralovimba. I've a better idea. I'll make tails for animals to flick away the flies. Spider sang. Birds have tails. Fish have tails. The bird tail whishes. The fish tail swishes. When's our day for tails with which to flick and switch the flies away? Today's Moon Day, said Ralovimba. Tell the animals I'll come down to Mount Shawadinda tomorrow and make tails for all of them. Good, said Spider. Today's Moon Day. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Tuesday's Tails Day. Spider descended quickly and spread the word. When the animals heard the good news, they couldn't wait to choose a tail. They set out at once for Mount Shawadinda. Only Rabbit, who was very lazy, went back to sleep. Get going, Long Ears, said Spider. I know you heard the message. I don't see you going anywhere either, said Rabbit. I don't need a tail. but you do, said Spider. What's the rush? Said Rabbit. There's lots of time, and there'll be lots of tales. Uh-huh, said Spider. Rabbit yawned and fell asleep. The next day, Rabbit awoke to see animals passing by his burrow wearing the most wonderful tails. Whenever a fly tried to land on an animal, it would swing its tail swoosh, swish, flick, and the fly would take off. Animals with tails, a new scene on Earth. Rabbit had to admit that it sure looked good. But even after his long rest, Rabbit was too lazy to stir himself. Who can I get to go for me? He thought. Then he saw Fox coming. Ah, Brother Fox, he said, your tail is fantastic. Flies can't touch you now. I'll bet you run faster with it than you ever did before without it. Yeah, said Fox. This tail piece does it. I'm fast now. I'm really fast. Brother Fox, said Rabbit, since you're so much faster than I, would you run back and choose a fine tail for me? Why, sure, Brother Rabbit, said Fox. Be happy to do you the favor. Fox sprang off, but he stopped to match tails with every animal he met along the way. It took him twice as long as it would have taken Rabbit to get there. When Fox climbed up to Cave Luvimbi, all the animals except Rabbit had already been there. He looked around and didn't see any tails at all. But as he turned to go, he spotted a short fur piece caught in the crevice of a rock. How stubby, said Fox. Can't flick flies much with that, but it's the only one left. Well, a long tail goes well with my short ears, so maybe a short tail will go well with long ears. Fox took the tail and started back. From his web in the high tree branches, Spider saw Fox approaching. He could make out only one bushy tail waving as Fox came closer. Spider said nothing of this when he dropped down beside Rabbit. Where's your tail? Asked Spider. Don't worry, said Rabbit. It's coming. Fox arrived and dropped the small fur ball before Rabbit. Here's your tail, Brother Rabbit, said Fox. Not much of a tail, but it's all that was left. Still, it is a tail, and that's the style nowadays. Rabbit blinked his eyes. Here, said Fox, let me help you put it on. Rabbit was too stunned to move. Fox flipped him across his knees and tapped the tail into place. That done, Fox didn't wait around for thanks. He winked at Spider and ran off, laughing as he went. Spider twirled back up to his web and sang under his breath, Tails with which to flick and switch the flies away. Then he sang out loud and clear for Rabbit to hear. If you want a thing well done, go do it yourself. Uh-huh, uh-huh. But Spider's moral only made Rabbit madder. That fox, that sly fox, he cried. What took him so long, huh? That's why I came out on the short end of it. I'll get even with him. But that tale leads to other tales of Rabbit and Fox. And here's where this tale ends. Whether it's an animal's tale or a told tale, be it long or short, whatever the sort, all must come to an end.
You have
Ashley Bryan told many great stories filled with so much fun and action, adventure. I need for you to tell me in the comments out of all the different stories that he told. Can you please tell me which one is your favorite? Which one sticks out more than all the rest? And as always, don't forget to like, share, watch more videos, and subscribe to the channel.